Let's now talk about making polygons, slot and point. So we have the polygon tool right here, and this is the tool with which I'll start. So I'll click on polygon and now I'll select a plane, front plane in this case. Now let's see the options that we have here. The first option is number of sides. By default it's 6, but you can add any number between 3 and 40. 3 being the minimum one will make a triangle and 40 will make a 40-sided polygon. You cannot add a number larger than that. Now we have two kinds of polygons, inscribed and circumscribed. If you make the inscribed circle polygon, the polygon will be made in such a way that a circle will be inside the polygon, touching all the sides of the polygon, which kind of looks like this. So this is the inscribed polygon, where we have the polygon outside and the circle is inside. Now if you select circumscribed, the circle will be made outside the polygon. So why we are discussing circle here when we are making polygon? The thing is, in this case, for making polygon, SolidWorks will use diameter of this reference circle, not the number of sides. So, or not even length of the sides. So that's why we are discussing this circle. So if you select inscribed circle, it will use this tiny circle, use the diameter of this circle. If you use circumscribed, well, it will use this one. So in this case, I'll select inscribed. And I'll select 6. I'll keep 6 here, and now I'm going to click here, and here we are. So now we are making inscribed circle polygon. So I'll just click here. Now this is the diameter, which is 66. So let's just change this to maybe 50, and I'll press enter. Now this circle, this dotted circle that you see here, should have a diameter of 50 units. Now if you want to check that, then press escape a couple of times, go to smart dimension and click here, and it's exactly 50. So yes, we are right. All right, let's make more of these. So maybe I'll just delete this as smart dimension and I'll go back to the polygon. And this time I'll just change this number of sides. I'll make it 5. I want to make a pentagon. And also I'll change the circle type to circumscribed. All right, now we are making a polygon which is circumscribed type, and this time just look at the circle. It is made outside, and here is the diameter of that circle. It is 72. Let's make it 60. All right, now you know the drill. So this diameter should be 60. We can check that as well. So I'll just click here, and that's 60. You can even use this to change the dimensions of the polygon. So now it is 60. I'll make it 72. And there it is. So the dimensions of the polygon are controlled by this circumscribed or inscribed circle. Let's select it all and delete it. And let's now move to slot. So here is the slot feature, and if you click this arrow, you'll see all the 4 slot features that you can add. I'll start with straight slot. Now a straight slot will let you add, well, this kind of slot. So I'll just click at this point and then here, and now we have the distance from the center to center of the slot. I'll just click here, and that's the slot. So in this case, the distance is from center to center, and that distance is specified right here. Now why this distance is center to center? Because look at this. So right now we are making center to center slot. So if I type, let's say, well, 50 unit, this will be the distance from the center to center, or the length of this line. I'll click OK. I'll go to slot again, and I'll make one more. So I'll just click here and here and here. But in this case, I'll change the slot type. It's still selected. I'll just click here. All right, now the distance is from end point to end point of this arc. So that's from this point to this point. And the distance is right here, which is 76. Let's make it 50 again. So I'll just type 50, tab key, and I'll click OK. So you can clearly see the difference. The 50 distance is from this end to this end, and here 50 distance is of this line from center to center. If you want to check it, you can do so using smart dimension. So here I'll shift select this because I want to select the circumference here, and I'll shift select this, and that's 50. And here in this case I'll select center and the center, and that should be 50. So that's how you can make these slots. Now using the similar method, I'll make all the other slots. So I'll select it all and I'll delete it. Now let's go to the slot option and select center straight slot. So this is kind of like making the center line where the slot will start from the center point and it will move equally on both the directions. And then I'll just click here. Now in this case, just look at this. We are making slot from end to end. So if you want to just add this distance, well, you can just add it here, or you can do it later also. It hardly matters. I mean, no matter what you are selecting here, once you add the dimension, that will be the driving factor of this slot. So no matter what you have selected there, you can still add, well, this dimension. Though the slot was made from this point to this, I am now driving its dimension using this midline. All right, what else we have? 3-point arc. So it's kind of like making 3-point arc first and then converting it into a slot. So I'll select the first point, then the second point, and third point somewhere here. Now that makes the arc. Now we're making slot. There we have it. So once again, you can change the parameters here and here. So I'll just click here, or you can change the parameters using smart dimension. So here simply add the radius value, and after that you can add these values as well. So this gap, and using these values you can still control the slot. Finally, let's talk about this slot, which is center arc slot. Once again, it's like making the center arc first, like this. So I just want to make it in anti-clockwise. So I'll just go to this point, start in anti-clockwise, kind of like this, and then the slot thickness. Once again, using smart dimension, you can control the dimension of the slot. I'll select it all and I'll delete it. And finally, the point, the simplest kind of geometry here. All you need to do is select the point, well, and click. That's it. That's your point. Or you can select the coordinates. For example, if you want to add a point exactly on the origin, just type 0 here and 0 here and just click OK. And we now have a point here as well. So in this way, you can make points. Alternatively, if you already have a geometry, then you can make points on its circumference. So for example, I'll select this point and I'll click somewhere here. And now we have a point exactly on this circle. The point will remain coincident on this point. And this is a great way of using point as a reference. Now you can use this as a reference for making other kind of drawings. For example, in case of line, you can add points at particular distances. For example, I'll just add a distance for this. So I'll just go to smart dimension and I'll add a distance for this line. I'll just make it 100 unit. All right. Now I want a point here at a distance of, let's say, 20 unit. So I'll go to point. I'll just click here randomly. Then I'll go to dimension. And from this point to this point, I'll add that. So 20 unit. And here it is. So now we have a reference. We know that this is exactly a 20 unit. You can use it to make other sketches. For example, you can go to line and then start directly from here. And we now know that that point is exactly at a distance of 20 from this point. So that's how you can use points in a meaningful way in your drawings.